If you love blueberries, then today's video recipe is for you. Hi guys, and welcome back to my kitchen. Today I wanted to show you guys how to make a really easy and delicious blueberry lemon bundt cake with lemon icing. You'll love everything about this cake. It has loads of blueberries, a little bit of lemon zest, and that lemon icing is so easy to make. This is the perfect cake to enjoy in the morning with some coffee, or you can enjoy it after dinner as a dessert. And it just comes together so easily. It's really moist and delicate and flavorful. Just overall, really, really good. Let me show you how it's made. And first things first, I have my oven preheating to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to start with my butter and sugar first. So I have 1 cup of unsalted butter that I've softened at room temperature. I'm going to place it into my mixer bowl. Just drop that right in. And I'm going to add in 1 cup of white granulated sugar. You can reduce this amount down to ½ cup if you want a less sweet cake. Drop that in. And we're going to mix this on medium to high speed for about 3 to 4 minutes until that butter and sugar are really light and fluffy. And I'm gonna stop to scrape down the sides of my mixing bowl before I add my next ingredient. And it's really important to do this just throughout the cake making process to make sure that everything gets incorporated. But check out this butter and sugar mixture. See how light it is? It's almost white in color, really nice and fluffy. And now I'm going to add in my melted chocolate. So I have 1 cup of white chocolate chips that I've melted. Now the white chocolate isn't going to add white chocolate flavor. I'm adding this to increase the moisture content in the cake and just makes the cake unbelievably delicate. It is just, it's one of my favorite things to add to cake recipes. So I highly recommend adding it even if you don't like the white chocolate. So we're going to add that in and then give this a mix for about 30 seconds. Next, I'll add in 4 large eggs and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then mix this again for a couple more minutes until the eggs are well incorporated. And I wanted to show you guys really quickly the consistency I have here. So it's a really smooth, kind of creamy, light mixture after you add in the eggs and you whisk it for about 3 to 4 minutes. And now I'm ready to add in my milk. So I'm going to pour in 1 cup of milk, and I'm not going to stir it in just yet. So just pour it in there and let it stand, and we'll mix it in along with the dry ingredients. Moving on to the dry ingredients, I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour. To that I'm going to add in 4 teaspoons of baking powder and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Just mix that in together real quick, and then we'll sift the dry ingredients into the batter. Grab a fine mesh sifter, sift that flour in, and this step is really important because you don't want to end up with clumps of flour in your cake ever. So never forget to do this for your cake recipes. And then mix in the flour on medium to low speed for about 30 to 45 seconds, just until that flour is incorporated. You don't want to overmix at this step. All right, so the cake batter is done. Now I'm going to prep my blueberries. I have 2 cups of fresh blueberries. I'm going to sprinkle them with about a tablespoon of cornstarch and then toss the berries in that starch. Now this is important because as the berries will bake in the cake, they're going to release all their juices, and the cornstarch is just gonna keep all that juice together and create like these little pots of jelly in the cake. And I'm going to add the blueberries straight into the cake batter. Just drop them in. And now for my lemon zest. So I like to add a lot of lemon zest to this cake because it just adds so much incredible flavor. I'm going to zest about 2 lemons. I like to add anywhere from 2 to 3 tablespoons of the lemon zest, so you have a really nice rich flavor. And if you wanted some more lemon flavor to go along with this cake, you can just juice these lemons and then make my easy homemade lemon curd. It would be such a great addition to this cake if you want to serve it on the side. All right, just grab a spatula, gently fold in the berries and the lemon zest, and this cake batter is ready for the oven. My cake batter is ready, and I've also prepped my bundt pan. Now it's really, really important to not forget this step. You can either butter and then flour the inside of the bundt pan. I just like to use this commercial. It's a baking spray with flour. It's super easy to apply, and it's never ever failed me, so I just use this. It's so much easier. And now we're going to transfer the cake batter into the pan. Just drop spoonfuls of it. And try to distribute it evenly. And my bundt cake is ready to go into my preheated oven. I'm going to bake it at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 50 to 55 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean. I always use that method for bundt cakes. And then once it's done, just take it out of the oven and let it cool on a wire rack in the pan for at least 30 minutes before inverting it onto a cake stand. And once I take the bundt cake out of the oven, I like to let it cool in the pan for at least 30 minutes. You can even leave it in there up to an hour, and then grab a pretty cake stand, and we're going to invert the cake onto the stand. And the glaze for this lemon blueberry bundt cake is super easy. So what I like to do is add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice. Just strain it really well so you don't have any pulp or seeds. And then you could start adding some confectioner's sugar. Sprinkle in a little bit at a time. So this allows you to make the glaze as thin or as thick as you want it to be. So if you want the glaze to be thicker, just add more confectioner's sugar. And I'm not going to make mine too thick. This one looks just right because I want it to kind of run down the sides of the cake. And once you have that glaze done, just take a spoon and kind of drip it over the sides of the bundt cake. And that's it, guys, for my easy blueberry lemon bundt cake. I love how this turned out, and it smelled so good while it was in the oven. For the full recipe, you could just head on down into the video description box. I've left a link that'll take you over to my website where you can view this recipe, print it off, and of course share it with your family and friends. And now let's dig in and enjoy. This just looks so good. And I know the blueberries kind of floated to the bottom, but that's perfectly okay. You're still gonna get a ton of flavor with every bite. And I absolutely love this cake. In my opinion, you can never ever go wrong with that blueberry and lemon combination. It's just one of those all-time classics that I never get sick of. Plus, this cake is so easy to make, so delicious, and it's really great as like an everyday cake. So you can save this cake, place it into the refrigerator, just make sure you wrap it up real well, and then whenever you're hungry for a piece, get a little slice. And I like to warm mine up in the microwave for like 10-15 seconds, and then it tastes like a brand new cake all over again. You guys are gonna love it. Don't forget, for the full recipe, in that video description box, there's a link. I hope you guys enjoy this cake as much as I do, and I'll see you next time with a new recipe.